the crew. What's going on, everybody? What is happening? What's up? What's up? Who do we have on here? Baseball is Life. Jason Robbins. What's up? Daily Dose. Lori, how you doing? What's going on, gang? We already have 30 folks on here. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Hope you guys and gals are having a good week. And be sure to hit the like button. I want to get the likes up early as possible. We were at like 120 something last time. I want to try to get to 100 again if we can. But we'll see how it goes. But welcome, everybody. There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff going on. And like Daly said too, there's so much stuff going on. You really don't know what's true, what's not. And like especially with Brian Cashman, who's so cryptic about some of the things, saying, "Oh, we have some latitude in terms of spending." We don't know what the hell that means, but it keeps you guessing, right? So, Jack, that's right. This is my Jason Giambi pinstripe jersey. So I'm a big fan of Giambi. I love the guy. Who else on here? Third 1549, SC, Jared, John. How you guys and gals doing? 2022 to come back. Taz, Bolgado, Pedro. What's happening? What is happening? Angel, you know what? Got to represent. Got to do it. I have some more swag I'm going to be wearing on Saturday. I have a different one, so you'll see something pretty cool. So it's going to be, Daly, it has been. We've got a lot of growth on the channel lately, so I'm really happy to see it. Looks like a lot of folks are enjoying it, and it's pretty cool. We're approaching 5,000 subscribers, so I'm hoping to hit that by the end of the year. So that was my goal this year. So we might be accomplishing that goal. Hit that like button. Yeah, hit that likes, guys and gals, if you don't mind. It's really helpful to the channel. And I'm gonna fire up the hot stove here, like Lori said, and Anthony all right. So let's get to it. I mean, the Yankees can get Correa and Olson. It's just something to keep in mind. Like we talked about this recently. I see 100,000 would be ridiculous. I would love to get 100,000 subs. I'd like to get 10,000 by June next year. That would be pretty cool. And, we just have a much bigger 161 Mafia, like Mateo said. But getting to it, Fotis, thank you. This is my Giambi jersey. But, there's so many people out there. And like we've talked about it recently, Correa is a number one target, right? So is Seager. Now Marcus Semion's a target too. Remember, Semien and Seager are both represented by Scott Boras. So, he could talk to one agent for multiple players. And we got the Justin Verlander thing going on. Now, we heard today that some agent is saying, wow, we're at 100 already, guys and gals. Awesome. I love it. Somebody's saying now to expect a 2-year deal in the $50 to $60 million range for Verlander. And if that's the case, me personally, I'm out on that. I'm leaning towards out anyway already because he has a qualifying offer attached to him. And it was going to cost cash and prospects, draft picks, and international prospect money. So I'm leaning towards out as intriguing as it would have been. I would much rather at this point go after Carlos Rodon, who won't cost as much per year, and try to trade for Luis Castillo. You add Rodon and Castillo, they're in good shape. That's a nice get. And then in the meantime, working on Matt Olson and something going on with the Oakland A's. And Cashman's already acknowledged that they're talking. They're in the jersey already. A million subs would be insane, Jared. I would love that. That right there, like Olson, and there's a whole bunch of them available. And I haven't heard about Sean Murphy being available, but at the very least, he should be asking. He's their catcher, and he's locked up several years. So, but, if you get Olson, obviously he's the big get. But you get Olson and Sean Manaea, Olson and Frankie Montas or something like that. That's a big trade for the Yankees. So, if Hal gives Cashman just say, dude, get the green light, go out and get what we need to win the World Series and put ourselves in a position to win the World Series again and again and again, then I could see him go out and getting a Correa and Starling Marte and several other players like he did in 2009. He brought several players in 2009. And like the most notable ones we talked about were Burnett, Sabathia, Teixeira, but he also brought in Nick Swisher. He brought in Dameso Marte. Like he got a lot of other guys that year. So, and I acknowledge that too because they all contributed that year towards the winning the World Championship. So that was a hell of an offseason. And I would love for them to put an offseason like that again this year. He has the opportunity to. and I really hope. And, because what we're hearing too is like some management insider said to expect a painful 2 to 2.5 months. So it's a good chance of it being a lockout. Apparently, they're not really close on when they're negotiations, but they usually never are. But which I don't know. I mean, honestly, I could see it happening, and I can see it not happening too. Because do they really want to have an extended lockout when they just missed? They lost over $1 billion in revenues already because of COVID, like the shortened season. Like, do they really want to do this? Like, I don't think it's a great idea. But Lee, what's happening? It's so again, it's be crushing for the sport, terrible for the fans. But who's our AJ Burnett this year? I'm going to say Carlos Rodon. I'm going to say Rodon because he's not going to be the most expensive guy. He's also got a high upside, and he could be wild too and whatnot. I'm going to say Rodon's probably the Burnett. Chris Bryant too. I mean, yeah, Chris Bryant. I mean, yeah, Volpe. I mean, in my opinion, Volpe should be untouchable, but you never know. You really never know. But yeah. But I mean, at this point, I pass on Justin Verlander, especially hearing the numbers that he's going to be costing. I'm moving on. It's not worth it at this point. At 30. If he was 29, I get it, but he's 39, coming off Tommy John. It's too risky. So, don't know hype, don't know love for Johnny Almonte. Thank you so much for the super chat, man. I appreciate that. What does he say? My gut feeling is getting Seager, and if we get a first baseman, just kiss Torres goodbye. A's for center. As for center, I think Hicks is going to fight for this spot. I agree Hicks is going to fight. He's going to get every opportunity to, in my opinion. But Cashman did say that they need to upgrade in center field. So that leads me to believe that Hicks isn't he's not sold on Hicks now, which is surprising to me because he's always been the Hicks guy. He's always, he's the one that locked him up to that deal. So, but I mean, if they got a Seager, and now there's talks about potentially moving, Torres and out of there in a trade for some big piece or in a huge trade, and then moving DJ to second. Because if you have DJ at second instead of, Torres, it's much more defensively strong infield. So he's just a more reliable infielder at this point, and he's a better contact hitter. Torres has a high ceiling, but he hasn't hit that ceiling in 3 years either. So that's something to keep in mind too. But yeah, don't know hype, don't know love for Johnny Almonte again. Thank you for that. I appreciate the support, bro. I really do. Story, Anthony Barcine. Story's an intriguing one to me. And again, he's also tied to a qualifying offer, as is Seager, as is Semien, as is Correa. The only one not tied to a qualifying offer at that caliber is Javi Baez. So he's going to cost, prospects and draft picks and whatnot. So it's something to keep in mind. But he'll be half the price, and maybe even less than that. And that's why I said recently, you could probably get Story and Chris Bryant for the price of one Correa and fill 2 spots because, a superstar is a superstar, which is great, but they only play one position at one time. The Yankees have multiple holes, and we need multiple guys to fill in these holes. And the Yankees were at their best when they had very, very good, they had superstars and really, really, really good solid role players around here. So that's when they were at their best. That's when they were winning championships. And Yankees need to really boost a lot of positions, and they have an opportunity to do that. James, what do you think of his for next year? Olson first, Merrifield second, Seager, DJ Marte, Gallo. Oop, shot up there. Marte, Gallo, or someone else for right field, Judge Stanton. Meaning they got Olson, Marte. Yeah, I mean, Merrifield for second, huh? Okay. Third base, DJ. I could see it. Merrifield's still one of the major league leaders in stolen bases. He's over 30, but he's a really good contact hitter. He plays great defense. I could see that too. I could see that, James. I heard Frankie Montez will be available. I heard Sean Manaea is going to be available too, and Matt Olson, obviously. If you can get Montez and Olson, phenomenal, or Manaea and Olson, phenomenal. That's one less spot in the rotation you have to worry about. So, and that solidifies first base. And again, he's a 27-year-old guy. I like Rizzo too, but Rizzo's 5 years older than Olson, and that makes a hell of a difference. It's a hell of a difference. So Olson's still trending up, whereas Rizzo's kind of trending downward now. So GM meetings, Texas Rangers. I'm hearing Texas is going to spend. I'm hearing Seattle's going to spend big. And they've already been, I guess, talking to the representatives or Scott Boras about Marcus Semien. I expect Texas to be aggressive. I expect Seattle to be aggressive. Don't be surprised if Miami's aggressive. So, and these will probably, in my opinion, be the most aggressive teams early on, just to show that they're serious. And then the other teams are kind of lay in the woods and strike when they strike. I think the Yankees need to be aggressive early, middle, and late to show that they mean business. So, and they would, I would love for them to get, a Matt Olson in a trade in the next week or so. It would be phenomenal. If they make an offer that's strong enough, then I think it's possible. But we'll see. We'll see. That's the $1 million question, right? And it would be a huge upgrade to the team. It really would be a huge upgrade to this team. And offense and the defense and just, it would be so good. It would be such a nice looking. And then there's that lefty bat that they add to that rotation there. So a rotation of offensive players, and it's, puts them right back towards Bronx Bomberville. And even though they'll need several moves to get there, but that'll be a hell of a move, a hell of a starting move. I'll tell you that much. Story and Olson would be great too. I mean, they traded for Olson and got Story, and that's what I mean. Like signing Trevor Story, yes, he would cost picks and prospects, but he wouldn't be as expensive, and it wouldn't tie them up either annually or over a decade. So it leaves flexibility to trade for guys like Olson or to bring in a Starling Marte also. That that flexibility can make a difference and add give the Yankees an opportunity to address one or two more holes. Whereas my fear is that Correa or Seager they're gonna hamstring them financially. So I hope that they don't, but I have a feeling that they will, and I don't see either one getting less than 8 years. So I'd be very surprised. Yeah, and that's what my appeal with Brian is. He plays multiple positions, man, infield and outfield. So that's a hell of a thing. So Tyler Talbot, super chat, don't know hype and don't know love for Tyler Talbot. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Torres could be going to Oakland if the Yankees. Yeah, I could see him going to Oakland. I mean, and they could really spice up this trade. Again, they could add Gio to this trade, right? And that's when you're talking Olson plus another player or something like that. I won't be surprised if they got Gio and Torres. It's multiple, several controllable years for both players. So that's, right up Oakland's alley. And don't be surprised if they both and more. So thank you again, Tyler Talbot. You're the man, dude. I appreciate that, man. Super chat. Don't know hype. Don't know love for you guys, man. At the end of the day, I think if it's Olson and let's just say Sean Manaea, I could see Torres and Voit and like a Luis Medina and maybe more going there for that. I think Olson's going to be a little bit more expensive than people are anticipating. So, but again, there's very few guys where like you want to trade for and give an extension to. And Matt Olson is one of the very few who I would be willing to pay a hefty price for. And again, he's young enough and good enough to want to give another 5-year extension on the back end or whatever. And he'd still be, even after the 5-year extension and the 2 years, he'd still be only 34. So like you get 7 years out of him or something like that, and he'd be 34. So like that's the type of guy we want over here, right? That's the type of guy we want. So that's at least the type of guy I want. He'd be a hell of a guy. He'd be a hell of a get for the Yankees. And again, keep in mind, Manaea only has 1 year left. And I think Montez maybe has 1 year left too before they're free agents. So that's why I think trading for another guy, either like a Luis Castillo, who's got 2 years of control, or even a more low-key guy like Zach Gallen from Arizona. His stats weren't sexy this year. He was 4-10, but he's got 4 controllable years, and he's got a career ERA under 4. So you send him over here, if they can get him, and you put him in Mac Blake's hands, and I think Blake can do some good things with him, and you'd have a young, durable starter in the rotation for 4 more years at a low cost. So there's options out there that he would be like an underrated get in my opinion. So, but again, 4 controllable years, it leaves flexibility to spend on expensive guys in free agency. So they balance each other out, and that's why I kind of like trading for guys like that. But yeah, you guys, thank you so much for the super chats and the donos. I appreciate you all. I haven't seen enough of Rodriguez to know how I really feel about him. He's an okay pitcher. Yeah, yeah. James, yeah. I mean, well, speaking of Rodriguez, so like the Yankees activated those guys from the 60-day out, brought it up to 40, and then the Yankees, moved on from Joely Rodriguez. So the roster currently stands at 39 players. So expect more activity over the next week or so because they need to protect several more guys from the Rule 5 draft. So I expect some moves one way or another. Even if it's not an Olson trade, expect movement in Yankee land. And I'd expect to probably don't be surprised. I know he's mentioning Frazier, but I wouldn't be shocked if he moved on from him. He moved on from Andujar, and at that point found a trade partner for Voit. Because again, you package like these three guys over for an Olson, you're clearing 3 roster spots to bring 1 or 2 guys in. So, and that's where I think he's going to package a bunch of players at the major league level, send them over to Oakland or something like that. And again, they get what they want, and they get roster spots cleared off too. So it'll be kind of a 2-for-1 for the Yankees. Getting better short-term and long-term. So, and again, you have DJ who can replace Torres at second. And again, I'm not saying, and I've said this before, the only way I move Torres is in a package for something like this. So, or a frontline pitcher, again, like Luis Castillo, something like that. It's only scenario I move him. I'm not moving him from just some regular player just to move on from him. So it's got to be an upgrade. And Matt Olson's an upgrade over pretty much almost everybody. So, Carlos, Delgadillo, welcome. Welcome to the channel. Correa is a very attractive guy. I mean, my fear is that I'm hoping that the Yankees aren't, if they sign him, and I would not be offended at all. He's the type of guy, he won't be phased here at all. He's not afraid of anything. And, he'd be kind of like the Roger Clemens, who was hated before he came here and then helped them win rings, and then he was beloved. I think the same thing will happen to Correa. He's that good. But I just hope that if he comes here, it doesn't hamstring the Yankees' ability to address other holes because they do have multiple holes. And one superstar is not enough. Just like giving Aaron Judge a $300 million extension does not address any other holes but Aaron Judge's. So we have to keep those things in mind. That's why I kind of propose those videos where, and what about, instead of this, we address 3 or 4 holes this way. So just to kind of give a different perspective. But, Correa is as good as they get, Carlos. He really is. He really is. And again, he would be welcome here if he plays well. He'd be welcome with open arms, man. He really would. And I hope that he, if he does come here, that he helps them win some championships. He'd be fearsome in that lineup, man. I'll tell you that much. Correa and Olson, I would be over the moon for. They got both of them. I would that. So, Niemer, what's happening? No entiendo nada. ¿Por qué no? ¿Por qué no? I've been saying this. Tyler Torres will be gone for. Yeah, if the Yankees do get Olson, I see Torres being included in that. I do. And more, obviously. I can't. We got 220 people on here. This is awesome, and this is the highest amount of people we've had at the same time. So thank you all. Whoever's on here that hasn't hit the like button, please hit that like button. I want to keep getting that up. I want to try to get to $1.50 if I can. So I appreciate it. It's really helpful to the channel when you do that. But welcome all. Let's get into this stuff. Who else do I have here? The GM meetings are going on right now, as we know. Cashman's having dialogues, and this happens every year too. Cashman, we're in dialogue with everybody right now. Of course, that's kind of standard procedure from Cashman. He checks in with everybody and whatnot. But we're hearing more often and more often that he's in kind of discussions with Oakland, and I expect to you hear a little bit, and then we'll hear nothing, and then all of a sudden, breaking news: the Yankees to acquire blah 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 for blah blah blah. I expect that to happen at some point. For who, I don't know. Who they get, I don't know. But I really hope that it's Olson is one of the guys coming back here. I really do. And if there's any way they get Olson and Sean Murphy, I haven't heard he's available, and I think it'll be a tough stretch to get him. But if they get Olson and Murphy, that would be, we'd be set. The Yankees would be in really, really, really good shape. Then they can DFA Gary Sanchez and save $8 million. So they could do that. Yeah, I would agree, Blake. Correa is a better defensive player, and he's a more consistent offensive player only because he stays healthy a little bit more than Seager does. As much as I like Seager's bat, lefty bat, he just gets hurt a little bit too much. And then when he's hurt, we won't be able to take advantage of the lefty bat because it won't be in the lineup anyway. So if we're going to get an elite lefty bat right now, I hope it's Matt Olson. And again, Matt Olson will come via trade. So it's only, It's not going to cost draft picks. It's not going to cost international money. And the last thing they want to do is, give up too much that they're not able to sign Roderick Arias, who's the #1 international free agent. I know they're expected to sign him, and apparently is, I guess, a quiet agreement or whatever. But I don't think they're going to let anything get in the way of that, And so I'll keep that in mind. But at the end of the day, if they got these guys and got Roderick Arias, who'll just boost another player in the pipeline, who's right up the middle too, it would just continue to boost that international pipeline. And again, I do expect them to probably, if they're going to make some big trades, don't be, I expect them to move somebody like an Oswald Peraza or Oswaldo Cabrera in one of these trades. They have depth in that position. So, I think they would move one of them, most likely Oswald Cabrera, because he's the most major league ready at this point. So, and again, they like controllable, cheap players, and then when they're on the budding superstars, they trade them before they get to free agency. That's just what Oakland does. So, well, exactly, Mindo. Signing Story leaves money for other positions. Exactly, trades, more free agent. Bill, I like Dan. I would have loved Danny Duffy like 3 or 4 years ago. I think he's a little bit past the prime now. And if they got him, they got him. But I don't want him. I would rather them not get him over Luis Castillo or somebody like that. I think there's some other guys to acquire that would be better fits right now than Danny Duffy. So, but if he comes here and he's productive, and what can you say? And I hope that he is productive if he does come here. That's all I know. Anybody that comes here, I hope that they're productive and they play well and they can handle it. And you get an Olson here, you get a Correa Correa's fearless. So like he fit right in the Bronx, and that's what I like. He's got balls and he hits in the clutch and he's just he's got great range. He's got ridiculous range. He makes these throws from like on the grass from deep shortstop, and he has a gun for an arm. So, he's as good as it gets when it comes to shortstop, man. He really is. So, yeah, I'm with you, Joe. I mean, I don't like signing players for 6 or more, more than 6 or 7 years. Unfortunately, Correa is going to cost more than that. And he's the #1 guy out there. He's a superstar too. Opinions on Cole this year? I mean, he was great until he had, he actually came down with COVID and hit him, and then we had his hamstring injury and it affected him. And Scott Boras confirmed that too. And again, it's pitchers need their legs. So. And I've seen that happen before. It's happened to Clemens with his groin. It's happened to other pitchers. But he came back and he started pitching well. He just had a rough end of the year. I expect him to be fine next season. So I really do. It is growing fast, man. It is growing fast, big boy. I mean, I appreciate the kind words, big boy. I really do. And it's all, testament to you folks. You folks motivate me to make the channel better and to come up with good stuff. So I thank you all. You're the reason this channel's growing. We gained 1,500 subscribers in the past month. So that's awesome. And I appreciate you all. What do we have? We got another dono here. Who do we have? Where is it? Oh, Taz. Thank you, sir. Thank you. I appreciate it. Dono hype and dono love for Taz, man. Bolgado, Pedro. Hit that thumbs up. Yes, please hit the thumbs up, man. I appreciate that. We want to try. I mean, we have 229. I'd like to get it over 150 if we can, or even close to 200. Hopefully the Yankees aren't cheap and don't allow Correa to go to the Red Sox, Rays, or any other team in our division. But most definitely. I won't see him going to the Rays only because they have Juan DeFranco, super kid there, and I don't see the Rays spending that type of money. Boston, you never know. They can move Xander Bogaerts to second. And Boston's fearless, man. They can make these types of moves. Don't be surprised. Like I had predicted Marcus Semien to Boston, so it can happen. These guys can do. They sneak out of nowhere. I didn't expect them to get David Price when they did, but they did. Or Chris Sale, but they did. Like they're aggressive. And I don't think it's a good idea to sleep on any of these teams. Even Toronto. I think Toronto's going to be aggressive too. They're going to try and re-sign Ray and Semien, but they might get one or two of them. But if they don't get either, I mean, I still see them going after Chris Bryant. They'll get a couple guys one way or another. But Taz, Ogado, thank you again, sir. I appreciate that, man. Appreciate the love and your support, bro. You're the best. Judge getting paid, 2 big signings. Yeah, I mean, Judge is going to get paid at some point. Again, they need to do this now. They need to do this right now, the Yankees, not wait. Otherwise, they lose all leverage. So put out your best offer. Put out your best offer now. I do see Correa getting 10. I'm with you there, Tyler. I agree with that. Much as I don't think it's a great idea. He's going to get it. I mean, he's going to get it. If some of these other guys, Bryce Harper got 13 at 26, I could see Correa getting 10 at 27. So, and if Volpe came up next year, what do you think his slash line? I think if Volpe came up, honestly, it probably wouldn't be until the rosters expand until the second half of the year. Only because I think they want to keep letting him develop the way he's doing. They don't want to rush him and have it come up a little bit too early. But I could see him, getting a fair amount of doubles and singles and home runs and probably hitting about 270, 280. If he got a full year the following year, I could see him hitting 280, 290 with probably 25 home runs and 75, 80 RBIs. Like, he'd have a hell of a rookie year. I think he'd be in the running for rookie of the year in his first full year. I could see that. I like Volpe. I hope he continues to progress. I really, really do. So, but if he gets a shot this year, but I see them still easing him in. I still think Oswald Peraza will come up first because he's more major league ready. I would give Volpe a little bit more seasoning. He has a higher ceiling, in my opinion, than Peraza does, but I hope they don't screw that one up. I really hope. Protect that kid. He's definitely gonna be special. Blue Jays extending Barrios, I could see that. Vlad, yeah, and Bo, yeah, I could see all of that, Tyler. I could see it at all. Yankees must. Oh God, yeah. Move DJ to second. Trade for Ketel Marte, Michael. Ketel, I mean, he would be a good one. If you're gonna get Ketel Marte, I would go after Zach Gallen too. That lefty, young, 25-year-old starting pitcher there. Who won the AL Cy Young? I don't think it's been announced yet. They announced the finalists, but I expect Robbie Ray to win it, unless they announce it tonight and I missed it. But I didn't see that. Yeah, we're gonna. Yeah, I hope we get 150 likes, Jackson. I really do. Hoping we get some more. We're at 124 right now, so that would be awesome. 150. Olson, Seager, Eddie Rosario, and a starting pitcher. Jackson, that would be a nice offseason. Really nice offseason. I'm glad you said Rosario. I like Eddie Rosario. Again, he's a winner. He's a lefty contact hitter with speed, elite defensive outfielder. He runs the bases extremely well. Does a lot of the little things that the Yankees don't do. And to me, he'd be a great fit here. He really would. And the Yankees are down 3 speedy, athletic outfielders. So they need to bring in somebody. And if it's not going to be somebody like Starling Marte, I would hope it would be somebody like Eddie Rosario. Again, not the sexiest name, but he would do a lot of the things that the Yankees don't do. And we need that. Again, we need better role players. So, and yeah, I mean, Jason Robbins, I'm thinking with you too. Too much talent. And this, again, like this offseason is loaded with talent. So it's so much more than next year. So this is the time to pounce if I'm the Yankees, right? Get this talent now. Get them locked up. Because next year it's not as deep. So the free agent class. And that's what I would do. Trade Urshela and get Chris Bryant better. Well, yeah, I mean, if you trade Urshela in the trade, then yeah, I mean, I see them bringing in somebody. It could be a Bryant. It could be like an Eduardo Escobar. It could be a couple of different guys. And again, if you're going to move Urshela and Gio, then to me it has to be a multiple player trade. It's got to be Olson and somebody else, unless they have something else up their sleeve with another team. And my guess is Cashman's got a couple things up his sleeve that we just don't know about. He never tells you anyway. He doesn't show his cards until it actually happens. So he's just so freaking cryptic when he tells us stuff. No. Yeah, Joelly's gone. So the roster's now at 39 guys out of 40. So I expect a few more moves in the next week or so because they need to protect a few more guys from the Rule 5 draft. So I expect some more roster spot cleaning to happen. I'd be surprised if they didn't do that. Gerald, it would have popped up on my phone. So it might be another day or two. Brian Reynolds, Jackson, I don't know if he's out of question, but I think the Pirates are going to want to build around him and Ke'Bryan Hayes, and it would cost an absolute haul to get him. But again, he has been my number one trade target for a year now. Like if they got Brian Reynolds and Matt Olson, I mean, I I'd be like a kid in a candy store. I'd be so happy. I'd be so happy if they did that. I mean, that right there would be, that'd be money. Perry, Joely just signed with us. Did they really? Let's see here. That would be a good update to have. So, Yankees, yep. Look at this. MLB Trade Rumors, yep. Yankees re-signed Joely Rodriguez to a they gave him, so 3 days ago, they gave him a $500,000 buyout and declined their $3 million club option. The new deal is for $2 million. So the club has saved themselves $500,000 by letting him walk in free agency. So he is back. Looks like a 1-year deal. I wouldn't be surprised if they brought in another reliever like Andrew Chafin or something like that from the left-hand side. Another one would be good. Another one would be good. Bat hitting coach, Angel? I don't know at this point. I mean, I would love somebody like Edgar Martinez, or they've reached out to a couple other guys, but I really wanted that guy from Boston, but he went to Texas. So, because that guy and I actually found these stats. Let me pull them up, because that guy from Boston, I'll tell you why I wanted him. Okay, I have these stats right here. I'm going to pull them up for you, because that one. Okay, here we go. From 2018 to 2021, over a 4-year span. Okay, the hitting coach Tim Hires. In runs, average, slugging, OPS, extra base hits, average in runners in scoring position, average with 2 outs and 2 strike RBIs. Boston Red Sox were number 1 in all those categories for his entire 4-year tenure. That's why I wanted him, because across the board, he made hitters better. I mean, average hitters better, made good hitters better. Like, that's the type of hitting coach we need here to do all the same thing. The Yankees are ranked 26 out of 30 in terms of runners in scoring position, and that is dreadful. So he would have been the type of guy that would have been a perfect fit here. Chafin rumored to want 3 years, 18, 20. Yeah, I could see that. And he'd be worth it. He'd be worth it. Bernie Williams would be an attractive idea. I mean, Isaiah Suzuki, I'm hearing, is maybe an option for center field too for the Yankees. My guess is he's probably going to get $10 million a year. Suzuki. That's my guess. That's my guess, and that'll be less than Starling Marte. So, we don't know yet who wanted Anthony. It wasn't announced yet, the Cy Young Award. Troy Snicker, yeah. But, so he's the hitting coach from Houston right now. There's rumors that he might head to Boston. Now, if we can get him over here, it might make it easier to get Correa. That's the thought. I mean, he's a good, young, attractive hitter, coach. So those are the types of guys that we need here with different mindset and bring some different dynamics here. So to go with Matt Blake. Who should the Yankees trade for Olson, Dapper Don? Who should they trade? Definitely Luke Voit. I would give up Davy Garcia or Clark Schmidt, and probably Gleyber Torres. And then you add Gio to it if you can get a Sean Manaea back or something like that. Keep in mind, Sean Manaea's got 1 year left to control. Gio's got like 3, so that to me is a fair swap in itself. Sign Story and Starling Marte. Pay Judge, trade Voit, Torres, and Odor for Olson. I could see that too. Oh, yeah, Odor. He might be another roster casualty too. Don't be surprised. Even though he carried the team for part of the year last year, he could be moved. The Yankees are only paying $500,000 of his salary. Texas is still paying $14 million for 1 more year, so that could be an easy move for the Yankees. Yeah, I'm hearing $10 million for Suzuki, but I mean, who knows? Who knows? If the Yankees make a big trade, will you go live? If the Yankees make a big trade, I'll go live that night. Yes. No doubt about it, because we're going to have to talk about that. We're going to have so much going on. We're going to be all fired up. So that right there, and obviously there'll be a video out immediately upon me hearing about it. So that's also, we'll definitely go live. What's my prediction? Michael King, what's any specific prediction you want me to give, Michael? Give me some specifics as to what you think, what you're referring to. Is there any scenario where Luke Voit? Yeah, I mean, if Olson stays or gets traded elsewhere and Rizzo goes to Boston, then I see Voit being the first baseman. Jeff, thanks, man. I mean, honestly, I think that's what it's going to cost to get Olson. He's a superstar, and it's going to cost a lot. Like, to get somebody like that, it's going to have to hurt. So, and it really is. And But that's the type of trades you have to make those moves. I mean, you get bold and you give up some value to get value. So, and we have young, controllable players. They have the superstars. So we have what they want and they have what we want. So at the end of the day, they can make a fit. They really can. If they're mentioned, if there's any chance Sean Murphy, panic mob, if any chance Sean Murphy's available, you have to go for, Murphy and Olson in a block. That would be a monster blockbuster. So, what's my prediction for a trade? I do think the Yankees are going to wind up with Matt Olson and maybe one of the pitchers. My preference would be Olson and Sean Murphy. So, re-sign Joely for 1 year, $2 million. My prediction is they'll get Olson, at least Olson, but most likely just Olson, and probably for Voit, Torres, and the pitching, maybe a Davy Garcia or something like that. If anybody can turn Davy around and be the Oakland A's, just like they did James Caprillion. He was average here, and he was pretty great over there. So, but if the Yankees make a trade of any kind of significance, the second I find out, I'm putting out a video. And if it's, especially if it's early in the day, I will give a heads up and we'll go live that night for sure. Yeah, we're almost at 150 likes, man. 147. Just need 3 more to get to 150. We've never been to 150 before, so it will be awesome. It will be awesome. Sanchez, I think they're going to Hulk. I think they're going to keep Sanchez until they get a major league, pitcher. We've just passed 150. Okay? Guys, great job. And thank you. Sign Eddie Rosario for I would not be offended at Eddie Rosario. I mentioned him. Again, he would be a great fit. So he's a little bit of a better version than Greg Allen, who I wanted to be the leadoff hitter and center fielder. But I'll take Rosario. Chris Davis and Adam Dunn to a 1-day deal. See if we can break that. Yeah. No doubt about it. Those guys, like, that's a nice trade too. It would be a good one here. Again, addressing multiple holes. And this is what I think the best trades for the Yankees this year are, to address multiple holes, like a multiplayer trade. So you add somebody to Olson for sure if you can. Pay Judge, Olson, and short. Yeah, if you get Olson and a shortstop, that alone, I don't care if it's Olson, Story, whoever it is, that's a massive upgrade for the Yankees. Massive upgrade for the Yankees lineup and infield defense. It will cost Torres, and some else, but then you have DJ to replace him at second, where he's a more natural fit. So Yankees will be fine. Yankees will be better. They will be better. I heard Horace Clark maybe making. He might be. He might be richer. Donnie Sands. He's another. Again, I'm glad they protected him from the Rule 5 draft. I really am. He's one of the 2 catching prospects that are progressing at some kind of rate in the system, and we're in a farm where they're very thin in catching prospects. So the contract for Rosario, probably 2 years, $20 million, maybe 3. He might be able to get 3 years, $30 million, but that's not a. Well, I appreciate you too, Hulk. Thank you, man. I appreciate it, man. He's not going to break the bank. I think Marte will cost probably $25 million for 3 or 4 years per year. I'd be surprised if Rosario was more than half the price. 10 or 12 million is probably the limit for Rosario, in my opinion. Even though he has a no trade clause. Well, assuming DH is happening, Stanton's stock is high, freeing up the DH spot. What? So I'm on the ball far. I'm on the fence with moving Stanton. Honestly, his production is equal to Judge's, and he's better than Judge in the postseason. He's a 290 plus hitter in the postseason. Judge is around 230. So, and again, my logic is too. He's making 25 a year total, but the Yankees are paying 22 of it, and he's got 6 more years left. So 6 years, 132. That's going to be half of what Judge gets. So I don't, why trade him is my question. Just to replace him with a more expensive Aaron Judge? This is where I'm conflicted, ball for. What's your give me some of your insight on this. I'm really curious. Yeah, exactly, Richard. It's not gonna be an elaborate contract. It'll just be 2 or 3 years, 10 million per, I think, for Rosario, and I think he'd be worth it. What do I think of Joely? I mean, he was good here. He was good here, you Elvis. So I'm fine with it. I think adding one more piece, also adding, let's just say they add Andrew Chafin from the left-handed side. It's a free agent, not going to cost them anything but cash. It frees up an opportunity to move an Aroldis Chapman if they want to do that. You add a prospect to him and make it easier for a team to get him, and then you have, you're placing with, let's say, Chafin and Joely, and the Yankees don't miss a beat in the bullpen. They don't miss a beat. So, and we get some better infield defense, and that'll help the starting pitchers and the bullpen. So, Stanton's value is crazy high, but so is Judge's. So, and that's, my kind of devil's advocate. That's my flip side logic, too. They're both valued at crazy high right now. But Stanton from Bellinger, you'd have to give up more than Bellinger for Stanton. You move Stanton, I want Lux and one of those pitchers. Dustin Mayer or Bristol Gratterall. Mob Gaming, don't know hype, don't know love. Thank you for the super chat, man. How do I feel about Carlos Correa and pinstripes? If it happens, I'm a happy camper. But if it happens and they're not able to do anything else, then I'm not that happy a camper. So it's got to be Correa and some guys. I mean, the Correa and trade for Matt Olson, I'm a really happy camper. But I think Correa would be perfect over there at shortstop. It's going to cost the money, but he's one of the few players who would be worth that contract. So, and he's one of the best shortstops in baseball. He's an absolute superstar, offensively and defensively. Angel G. Serrano, working my butt off. You guys are worth it, man. I mean, I'm happy that you enjoyed the videos, and I'm going to continue to do a lot of research and put his content out there, man. So I appreciate your support, man. I appreciate you too. So thank you. We definitely need better catching. That's why I do so many trades with catching prospects and high-end catching prospects, because our farm is so thin and high-end catching prospects, man. And thank you again, Gaming, for the dono, man. I appreciate the love. Out of crib, loving that you love the channel, man. I appreciate. I'm really happy that you guys and gals like the videos. So I'm trying to keep my goal is to be different, okay, outside the box. I don't want to be like everybody else. There's a lot of good channels out there, but I want to kind of be unique in that regard. So people coming back and people just thinking out a little bit differently and give us some, so we're making well-informed decisions and whatnot and opinions. So I want you to know as much as possible about all the options so that we can have really good dialogue. So, and all the dialogue is welcome. I don't yet, Lori, but I would like to get another collaboration with Derek, because him and I, we flow well together. He's got a great channel, Derek at NYY Recaps. Go check him out if you haven't seen him. He's got a great channel. Rizzo's, a lot of folks want Rizzo back Blue City, but if they can get Matt Olson, then they don't need Rizzo. Olson's way better, and he's 5 years younger. Do I trust Montgomery? I'm not sure about Tyon. It's really depending. He's going to come back in May or June now. I still think Montgomery's done enough to earn more people's trust, including mine. But I still think that they need to bring in 2 starting pitchers for depth. They always have problems with injuries and starting pitchers. They need depth. So 2 is what I would be doing. Signing 1 and trading for 1, or trading for 2. So what about re-signing Rizzo and signing Corey Seager? That would be fine, but my first choice for first base panic mob would be Matt Olson. And I think the majority of people want Matt Olson here. Yeah. It is, not a great year to need catching, man. Buster Posey retiring, and a lot of these other guys are either old or not available. It's a tough situation right now. Christian Velasquez to the Yankees. Even Eduardo Rodriguez would be nice too. Velasquez to the Yankees would be nice. I would take one of these young dynamic catchers too, but Sean Murphy would be ridiculous. Brian Gonzalez, thank you for the super chat. Don't know hype and don't know love for Brian Gonzalez, man. I appreciate you. Would say, hey, love the channel. Would a package of Glaber, Voit, Peraza, Schmidt, and Garcia for Montez and Olson get it done? Glaber, Voit, Peraza, Schmidt. I'd be surprised if it didn't. That's a hell of a package. And that's let's see, 3, 4. You're giving them probably 20 years of controllable years for 1 year of Montez and 2 of Olson. Yeah, I think that's plenty of value in return. Brian. And again, I don't see, Schmidt getting back up here or Davey Garcia really. So Peraza would be, again, we have depth in that position, and Glaber and Voit are expendable at this point. So I think it would be enough to get it done, Brian Gonzalez. And I appreciate, again, the super chat and the dono, man. Thank you, sir. When do I see the New York Yankees winning the World Series? If they get Correa and Olson and sign either get a Luis Castillo or get a frontline starter, I could see them making the World Series in 2022. I really could. They need to make those types of moves in order to get there. Aggressive in multiple positions. So, what's with all the flirting here? We got a love connection going on here. What am I giving up for Olson? I'm giving up Voit and Torres and Davey Garcia or Clark Schmidt, at least those three. It might cost more, but again, if we trade for Olson, like Jeffrey, if we trade for Olson and sign Correa, and they sign Marte, and you get a pitcher, I mean, I could see them going to the World Series. I really can. Volpe would be nice. It would be nice. Volpe would be really, really nice. I'm really excited about him, and I hope that he, gets a shot out of here, either late this year or next year. But I'm really excited about Volpe. He looks like a special player. So, Lori's not stalking you. Come on, you're a silly dude, knucklehead. Simeon is another one. He'd be a really attractive player. Oh, dude, Tyler Talbot, dude, you're the man, dude. I thank you for the super chat and the dono hype and dono love for Tyler Talbot. I appreciate you. If the Yankees trade Judge, they need to. Oh, dude, I mean, there's no doubt about it. If they trade, and I said this, you don't trade Judge unless you get a monster haul, and this is the time. This is the only time they can do that, and there will be teams lining up for him, Okay. So, but yes, you're absolutely right, and thank you. That's excellent perspective. Panic Mob, I appreciate you too. Thank you. Let's rookies Luis Hill, Davey Garcia, and Clark Schmidt start. Well, at the very least, Luis Hill. I mean, I'm not sure if Schmidt's got a live arm. I think his arm's better than Davey. So if I'm keeping one, it'll be Schmidt over Davey. He's kind of regressed quite a bit, but Hill deserves a shot at the very least to get a shot at the rotation. Schmidt could be a long reliever. He just needs to stay healthy. But thank you for the dono and the super chat. And Tyler Talbot, dude, you're a legend. And you're absolutely right. Tyler, who would you trade him to? And who would you want for him in a trade? That I'm really curious to see what your view is on this one. Who? I mean, to me, it's not. I mean, a lot of teams will be knocking on the Yankees' door to get a Judge. I mean, a lot of West Coast, the Padres, the Mariners, the Dodgers would take him, and Angels, they'd get a lot of attention. So, and they would get a couple of really, really robust packages. So, but it would have to be a haul. Absolutely have to be a haul. But that's after, I think, offering him an extension, and he rejects it. If he does that, he goes on the market immediately. Even if you give him $210 million, you give him $210 million, right? And then what's he going to do? If he turns that down, somebody gives him 260, he's going to go whoever gives him 260. He's going to go where the money is, and can't really blame him. This is his chance to cash in on free agency. So, he's not going to leave $50 million plus on the table just to give the Yankees a discount. I don't see that. So, and again, he's earned his right to cash in on free agency. He is a superstar. So, but again, give me who would you send him to, and what would you want in return? And anybody else here, who would you send Judge to if you were to trade Judge, and what would you want in return? I've already shared my trade with Judge, especially to the Dodgers. That's my favorite one. Let me know if you haven't heard, and I'll tell you what my trade is. Dude, Jack C., you're another legend, bro. This backfired. 63 likes. I said in the chat that I give 10 cents for every like after that. Dude, I appreciate that, man. I'm leaving soon, so here you go, bro. Well, thank you, Jack C. I really appreciate the support. And, dude, we're at 183 likes, man. I'd love to get over 200 if we can. But, dude, you're a man of your word, man, and I appreciate you. Man of your word. And dono hype and dono love for you too, man. Lots of love for Panic, for Jack C., for Tyler, all of you. Your support is much greatly appreciated. You guys and gals make this channel great. Dodgers, Padres, Angels, all West Coast teams. They'd be all over him. And again, for those of you that haven't seen my trade to the Dodgers, if I send Judge over there, and I got a lot of shit for it, but I want Dustin May and Gavin Lux and Bristol Gratterall back in return. That is a haul for Aaron Judge. 2 controllable starting pitchers. Even though May's coming off TJ, he'll be fine. Gratterall's a power arm, and Gavin Lux, multiple positional player who can, he can play multiple positions, and he's a lefty bat, and he's young, dynamic, and he's controllable for a bunch of years. So that to me, for 1 year, Judge, that's a freaking haul. But yeah, I mean, to me, it's far fetched Judge being traded at this point. If he got traded and flipped to the Red Sox, that would be insane. I don't think the Yankees would trade him to Boston, but crazy things have happened. They're gonna have to give up a shit ton to go to a division rival in black. But who knows? Crazy things have happened. But you're right. They could trade him to the Marlins, and then the Marlins could flip him to Boston. Like it could be insane. It could be insane. Yeah, we just passed 190 likes, man. You guys are unbelievable. I love you guys. The best. Let's see. It's going so fast now. I apologize if I don't get to you. Judge for Bellinger and Dustin May and Lux. I would do that too, Mike. Gratterall I would like more than Bellinger, but if you can get Bellinger and May and Lux for a year, Judge, I'd sign up for it yesterday. Judge to the Dodgers for Cartaya, Andy Pagan. Cartaya is the number 1 catcher, their prospect. He's a catcher, right? Yeah, he's their number 1 prospect too. So he's an elite. I think he's top 20, right around Jason Dominguez and Anthony Volpe in terms of top 100 prospect rankings. That would be Mateo. I would actually do that. I would do that. I mean, they would. I would imagine if they traded for Judge, they'd give him a big contract, and he'd probably hit 40, 50 home runs a year. But again, that would be. I would do that. That's an intriguing trade. And the Yankees will get their long-term catcher right there. I like that one. I like your trade ideas. I really do. If it's the Dodgers, Lux, May, Gratterall, and another player, that's right up my alley, Tyler Talbot. 100%. How much do I think Javi Baez? I think he's going to get between 80 and 100 million. My prediction might have been a little low, 72 or something like that. I actually think he'll get a little bit more. Between 80 and 100. He's also an elite defensive shortstop, and he's got a solid contact, and he's got a significant amount of power. He's a short, small contact guy like Gleyber Torres. He just has a more consistent bat than Torres. So, he hits home runs where Torres tries to hit a lot of home runs, and I think it's just the home runs are a little bit more suitable for Javi Baez. He's more consistent with the bat in terms of on the power end. Keep Judge. I would not be offended at all, Nelly Velez. I mean, if we kept Judge, 200 likes, my God. Thank you. Keeping Judge, I'm totally fine with. But again, I mean, they have to give him an extension offer now. And that's my opinion. Because, I mean, right now they have an opportunity to win either way. They can give him an extension. It's got to be a good one, obviously, a big one. Probably $35 million per year. He might want to be the highest paid player on the team. And then in that case, Cole makes 36 a year. He might want 36.5 or 37 a year. So that might be the condition. But if that's the case, 6 years to me, I'd sign up for that for Judge. But that said, if you give him the big offer now, and if he turns it down, you got to trade him because that's the only time they get a chance to cash in on the haul back. So that would be a win-win scenario for the Yankees. But again, after this offseason, they lose all leverage. So, but he's the face of the franchise. So my guess is they're going to work out something to keep him. Dominguez, Volpe, and Clark Schmidt for Shohei Ohtani. Oh, Eden, that's a tough one. I don't want to give up Dominguez. I would not include Volpe, but damn. That's a tough one, Ohtani. My God. Oh, Aiden, that's a tough one, man. It's intriguing. Shit. Oh, that's a tough one. Would you do it, Aiden? Would you? Drews Familia. Maybe. Hulk, maybe at the right price. It could be a dependable arm. I would have loved Rachel Iglesias, but he got a qualifying offer, and he's probably going to cost 14, 15 million a year. So I pass on that. Anthony, he is frustrating bias. I'll give you that, but he's not as frustrating as Torres. He's not as hot as cold as Torres is. I mean, again, he's not my first choice. He has a lot of the same issues as Torres, just not as much as Torres. But again, he's my he'd be my fifth choice for shortstop. He really would be he'd be my number 5 out of 5. Get his own TV show. The only thing that would make him wear a hat. You talk about me, Richard. I'll rock the Yankee hat. If you want me to wear it the next live stream, I'll rock the Yankee hat, man. Proudly. Love my Yankee hat. So yeah, man, Jaxie, I appreciate it, bro. I really appreciate it. Getting subs are growing, the likes are going. I mean, the views are growing. Like, I appreciate it. We're doing something right, man. And it's not only me. It's I say we because it's you guys and gals too that make this channel what it is. So it's we doing something right. Steeler Eduardo Rodriguez from Boston. He'd be one of the few guys that I would do Hulk, even though he comes with a qualifying offer. I think he'd be worth it. You get like a 5-year deal, and he's young. He's 28. You give him like $75 million, $15 a year. You put him in that rotation, be a consistent guy. I would do it. I would do it. Will won't be dead when he reaches 200,000. 200,000. I mean, I'm gonna go on a mission, Richard. I'm going to go on a mission to get 200,000 subs in the next couple years. That's my mission. I want to get to 10 by the middle of next year. I'd like to get to 20 by the end of next year. So we'll see if that's possible. I'm going to keep pushing out good content. So I'm hoping that happens. Judge to Philly for Harper. Oh, shit. That's a beast. If Philly eats a little bit of Harper's money, I'll do it. Gerald Montana. Oh, Tani would have filled multiple. Yeah, my concern is he would. I would just hope he wouldn't need Tommy John. So, but yeah, he's a sexy player, Ohtani, man. But I don't think the Angels are going to trade him, especially with Trout coming back next year. I think the Angels are going to add pitching, maybe 2 starters to try to go after that. Division, man. Beast, bro. Thank you, Wilma. I appreciate that, brother. Matt Chapman? Well, I think we can. I mean, Chapman and Olson would be a serious trade, too. My preference would be Olson and Murphy, personally, but I would not be offended with Matt Chapman. That would obviously, they have to include Gio and some other guys. But he's also got, just like Olson, he has 2 years of control before he's a free agent. But he's a beast. He's a beast, too. So Chapman and Olson would be a monster haul. And they both would look really nice in the pinstripes, man. Oh, God. And again, the Yankees would be absorbing another contract from the A's. And they're motivated now to shed payroll. So Yankees provide them with a perfect team to help them facilitate that. Stallings is a stopgap catcher. Yeah, I mean, I would be fine with the Stallings. I really would. Luis Castillo and Jesse Winker. That's another one. That would be a blockbuster trade, too. Jesse Winker's another good-looking player, man. Really. What's like 100 million subs, 100 billion subs? There's a couple of channels out there with a couple of 100,000 subs on a baseball channel. So my goal is to at some point get to 100,000 in the next couple of years. Get that YouTube plaque, put on the wall. And in my new YouTube room, when that happens, I get an addition put on this house in the spring. So I want to get that 100,000 mark at some point with that plaque right behind me. Can I see the Yankees trade? Now I'm going to get to the dono in a second, man. I appreciate it. I see another dono coming in. MLB Gaming. Again, thank you so much, man. I appreciate you. I really do. If the boss was still alive, he would give Judge the extension. Not only that, will we have Correa, Olson, Marte, and 2 more. I'm with you 100%, man. George Steinbrenner do whatever it doesn't matter what. Like, he would give up the farm, and he would get a lot of guys in return. That's the only thing. I wish he didn't do that sometimes, but he got his man whenever he wanted. He got his man. So, like, I got to give him that. He's a legendary owner. So I'm with you 100%, Mob Gaming, man. And thank you again for the super chat and the donut. I appreciate you. Reds apparently are going to be moving on for a little bit of payroll too. Castillo would be a wonderful get. Cubs did take Miley from them. Yep. Scherzer would be a good hit too, but and again, he was acquired at the trade deadline, so he doesn't come with anything but cash. But he's going to expect to pay $40 million a year for him, minimum. I just don't know if I wants to come to the American League and the Bronx too. But if he did, I'll be buying my Scherzer jersey tomorrow. No, nothing about it. Cole and Scherzer. Oh God. Can you say the Yankees trading with a team who has? Yeah, I could see the Yankees trading for one of those Marlins pitchers and giving some offensive pieces in return. They have a lot of pitching depth, So they're a good fit. They're a good fit in my opinion. And so you make a good point there. Good point. Jaxie. Yeah, I mean, it's humble. Yeah, I appreciate that, man. I follow Derek too. I follow Pete and the others. And I appreciate the kind words. I mean, I look up to these guys too. But again, I try to be different and I want to be different. So, I want to try to keep the ego out of this stuff. And it's just, and I'm a longtime practitioner of martial arts and I still practice it. I've got multiple black belts in a couple different arts, but that's one of the things they teach you. Just keep modest and humble and keep the ego out of the room. So that's a big thing with me. But I appreciate that, Jack C, man. Thank you. Padres, Luis Camposano did it. Oh my God. I mean, Tyler Talbot, Camposano, Frazier, McKenzie, Gordon, Seager. That's the type of package I want for Aaron Judge. Or at least 3 of those guys. Camposano will be a big get for the Yankees. But if there's any way they can get, I think Adam Frazier is gettable. I could see, I've heard of some rumors about it, 1-to-1 swap like Joey Gallo and Adam Frazier. Could be intriguing. Stallings isn't, yeah, Nelly. Stallings is an option too. He is an option. Voit, Dominguez, Cortez, Schmidt for Montez and Olson. Voit, Dominguez. Oof. That would hurt trading Jason Dominguez. Can we swap him out with Oswald Peraza and another prospect? Oswald and Davey Garcia instead of Dominguez. I know they're gonna ask for Dominguez. They're gonna ask for Volpe. Just like when Cashman makes a trade, he asks for other teams' number 1s and number 2s too. So I totally get it. But if there's any way you can do it without giving up Dominguez or Volpe, I would give up more quantity. I would do that. But I don't know if it's possible. I'm not sure. Kemp is an option too with Olson, yeah, for center field depth. Yeah. Jason for Ketel Marte. Oof. Ketel Marte's an appealing one too. He's a budding superstar. I worry about his legs. He has some lower body injuries, so it concerns me sometimes when he's had a couple lower body injuries. But if they got him, I would go for a Ketel Marte, Zach Gallen blockbuster. If you're going to trade with the Diamondbacks, try to get that young pitcher. He's got 4 years of control before he's a free agent in 2026. And he's 25 years old. We need a guy like that here, controllable years. Especially since Tyon will be a free agent after next year, too. So, this gives them an opportunity to get a guy and allow them to maybe move on from Tyon. If Tyon pitches well, then you can give him a qualifying offer maybe. And if Joey Gallo plays well, you give him a qualifying offer too. So, and then you have, instead of bringing guys over here that are on qualifying offers, you have a couple guys going out potentially on qualifying offers if they play well enough to justify it. So, Hal Steinbrenner cares about. He definitely cares about money and profits, man. He definitely does. There's no doubt about that. It would be cool to get Simeon and stick it to the Jays. Yeah, and it would be cool. Like Simeon at second base, Correa at short. You trade Torres for Olson in a package. Imagine that. Correa at short, Simeon at second, Olson at first. Murderer's row, baby. Murderer's row. Like, that would be a beast of a lineup. That would be a pitching nightmare. Huh. Oof. I love the Spanish word and the Spanish in here. I love it, man. Love it. Trade Judge, Torres, Voit, and Dominguez for Acuna, Swanson, and Charlie. My God. Judge, Torres, Voit, and Dominguez for Acuna. Wow. Mandel, that's a monster trade. Oh, my God. That's a monster trade. I got to think about that for a little bit. DJ at third scares me more than DJ at second. DJ second is the right fit. But if that happened, DJ would be my personal opinion, DJ would be the super utility guy at that point. But, that's a little bit far-fetched too, but who knows, man? Who knows what Cashman's going to do? That's what's so frustrating about him. That's what's so intriguing about him. Because like I said, when you think he's going to do nothing, he does a ton. When you think he's going to do a ton, he does nothing. So just keeps you in mystery all the time. Do I think I don't know, Jonathan. I mean, Oakland and Olson. I mean, they would if they got enough back, but I don't know if the Yankees have enough. At that point, they probably have to part with Dominguez and Peraza. I think. I really do. Adam, no, I mean they were a nightmare when they were healthy. They were a nightmare in the regular season, but then they were just, they were not a nightmare on the base paths, unfortunately, and we need that. They were not a nightmare for clutch hitting. They had a hell of a lot of solo home runs, but we need to get guys on base more, and we need to do a better job at bringing them in. So hence we need some speed and aggressive base running in there, which we haven't had. So there's some issues that they need to fix. Rumor for Bleacher Report saying Derek Teeter is promising to spend a lot. Teeter or Jeter? I wouldn't be surprised. I think the Marlins are going to make some moves. I don't know how much, but I think they're going to make some moves this offseason. They can use some of their pitching depth to facilitate trades, and I think he'll make a couple of free agent moves as well. So, great trade Gary Sanchez for a ham sandwich. Mateo, let me get some cheese on that too. Is it possible, or is that too much for Sanchez? Good one, Mateo. Yankees getting Correa. I think it's going to be either the Yankees or the Tigers. Although I predicted him to the Phillies, so I'm not ruling the Phillies out. Yankees, Tigers, or Phillies. Yeah, I mean, Murphy, well, that's the other thing too, Steve. Murphy's cheap and he's controllable. So he represents somebody that the A's would probably like to keep and build around. And they're going to get rid of Olson and potentially Matt Chapman to either the Yankees or another team. Then Olson's the guy to keep. So, then Murphy's the guy that they keep. But who knows? Somebody might be able to prime away. Chances of him getting Seager, I think it's about 30% wicked 50 count. About 30% chance. And I think it's probably a 60% chance of Correa. Somewhere around there. What I take on Hosmer's contract along with Grisham, Musgrove, and Campusano for Judge. Hosmer with Trent Grisham, Joe Musgrove, and Campusano for Judge. Only Philip, I think we have to add Aroldis Chapman in return to the Padres. They got to absorb Aroldis Chapman. What do you think of that one, Philip? If you add Chapman to it, we take that salary, they take that salary. So, and it fills multiple needs for both teams. What do you think of that one? My Hosmer's not my preference, but you can also get him and release him. So just to get Campusano would be a big get, and Musgrove would be a big get. Musgrove and Campusano would be nice. Even Trent Grisham would be a nice fit too. They need to get more athletic, 100%. They need to get better on the base paths too. I think the highest percentage is probably to the Tigers, but my My only thing with the Tigers is they're nowhere near contending. So does he really want to go there for several years with Hinch with no, but I do think they're going to be aggressive this offseason. So I think if they do get Correa, it won't be only Correa. They could bring back Justin Verlander too. They could do some other things too. That's probably the highest. The highest odds are probably Detroit right now. But yeah, I think a lot of us are up in the air on Hicks, James Lee. I think a lot of us are up in the air. I'm not confident that he'll be a center fielder. I think he's going to get hurt again at some point. So if he stays healthy and plays well, fine, great. But if he doesn't, I wouldn't be surprised. Which is why they need backup, and they need to have guys here. So they need to bring in somebody like a Rosario or Starling Marte, in my opinion. 225 likes. Yeah, I can't believe it too, Mateo. I mean, this is great, man. I appreciate this so much, really. Trade bait, Chad Green, Clint. Yeah. All trade. I don't think Clinton and Miggy have much trade value. I could see them being DFA bait just to save $4 or $5 million in payroll to use elsewhere. Chad Green, I think, could be packaged with someone else for a team that needs a reliever. Cherry Judge going to sign with you. I would not be surprised, but then at that point, I think that's a major fail for the Yankees because they let them get to free agency. And again, I don't let them get to free agency under any circumstances. So you either extend them or you trade him. Cannot let him get there because all they would get is a qualifying offer back, and that's nowhere near value for Judge. But I could see him signing with the Angels too. Tigers are close to contending. I don't know how close they are, Anthony. But you never know. They could be much better next year. I think the Tigers would offer more than the Yanks. For Olson and them, they could. But I think the Yankees offer more for Carlos Correa. They could, yeah. They're gonna spend. They're gonna be aggressive. I could see Texas offering the most for Corey Seager. I could definitely see that. Hicks for Robinson Cano. Hell no. Rocco. Heck no. No more Cano. Oh man. Wouldn't mind Marte trading off stealing. Yeah, man. He's the major league leader in stolen bases, man. We need a guy like that. I really do. I would trade Hicks if we can get Starling Marte. I would trade him in a heartbeat. I hear Torres is going to be moved. Yeah, Richard Grulon, Big Rich 177. Yeah, if he does, if we get to Olson, I see Torres going to Oakland. As well as other players too. I see that. So I'm with you there. I agree 100%. How long before Antonio Gomez? He's got a while before he profiles well as a catcher, but not for several years, Angel Serrano, at least. Unless he starts shooting up the system like Anthony Volpe's doing. It's possible. I think Starling Marte Gerald is going to cost $25 million a year for 3 or 4 years. I don't see him getting less than that. I don't. You can get K-Town, but it's going to cost them quite a bit, but we'll see. Yeah, I heard Pedro Feliciano passed away at 45 yesterday. That's terrible, man. It's terrible. Our condolences to his family and loved ones. I remember him. Harper would have been. I really wanted Harper here, Cherry. I really did. Yeah, they can get Olson, Correa, Marte, and Verlander, but if they stick with Gary, we aren't winning Jack. Yeah, if they do stick with Gary, he's got to be the 9th worst hitter on the team. That's for sure. He's got to be the worst hitter. So, but yeah, I'm kind of a similar sentiment, but yeah, I don't know if they're gonna do. I don't know if they're gonna do 2 players that are on qualifying offers. So if they get Correa, I don't see them getting Verlander. I see them getting somebody like Rodon, which he doesn't come with a qualifying offer. So I see them signing one like a Correa or somebody like that. 1 player that's on a qualifying offer. So they could get Starling Marte, no QO. Olson to be trade like Rodon, no QO. So and still get Carlos Correa. That would be a monster offseason. But again, they could do it. They've done it before, Daryl. So that's your offseason right there is a monster. Jonathan Roth, Correa, Marte, Olson, and Stroman would be ridiculously sick. It would be crazy sick. I'd sign up for that. Yeah, Stroman, see, that's the thing. He's not sexy, but he's durable. And he played on a qualifying offer this past year, so he can't get one a second time. You're not eligible a second time to get a qualifying offer. So, again, he's just cash. And again, he goes out there and throws innings every time. So, and we need guys like that behind Cole. We really do. So I'd be totally fine with Marcus Stroman. Would I be okay with this trade? The Yankees get Dax, Fulton, and Yuri Perez for Trey Sweeney. I don't know enough about those guys, Anthony. Give us some insight on who those two guys are. I mean, I'm not a fan of trading Trey Sweeney. You know, Trey Sweeney's the new draft pick. But who are these guys? Dax and Yuri. Give me some insight on them. I'm trading Torres. I'm getting a pitcher. Well, I mean, I think at the end of the day, the Yankees are going to wind up doing a pitcher and Matt Olson with Oakland, Todd Owen. I think. So that would make more sense. But if for some reason they don't trade Torres and they still get Olson, then I would send them to the Reds for Luis Castillo, him in a package if I can. So Olson, Starling Marte, and Carlos Correa, that would be a monster. I'm on that train too, Grant. I'm on that train back and forth. I'm riding it back. I'm riding it both towns. So, both directions. Seager back to LA. If we get Correa, I don't know. I see Seager going to Texas before coming back to LA. But he could come back to LA. He could. Jalen Davis added to your Giants trade. Intriguing, Tyler. That's intriguing. Hey, Kyle, what's happening, man? Welcome. What's too little for Starling? Starling Marte's a free agent. What if you're talking to me, Gerald? But I don't think he's going to make more than $25 million a year. I could be wrong, Gerald, but I could be wrong. What do you see him getting, Gerald? Tell me what you think. What kind of contract? Oh, I missed the boss too. Like Duval, Swanson, and Inlaw for Voit, Torres, Odor, and Gallo. Oh, Mendel, I would be all over that one. Yeah. You're perfect. Aiden Clark, you're perfect. Somewhat realistic offseason. Olson, Correa, Verlander, Starling Marte. That would be a monster offseason. It's all doable. Aiden. I'm with you there. It is realistic. It is. Yes, we do need someone who can bat. I mean, well, we need more. Yeah. 300 would be nice, Jeffrey. I mean, some more contact hitting would be really nice, and some better infield defense would be fantastic. Gallo an extension? I don't know. I think they're gonna wind up keeping Gallo for the season. I think he's gonna play well. I really do. So, yeah, $20 million minimum for Starling Marte, Tyler. I'm with you there. I think it's gonna be between 20 and 25 for 3 to 4 years. He's 33, so Gallo did win the Gold Glove. Yep. Judge was unfortunately snubbed. I thought he should have won the Gold Glove, but Gallo did win the Gold Glove. I mean, we can sign Andrelton Simmons. He's the least appealing option for everybody, but he's still an elite defensive player. So I could see Seager to the Angels. I could see Scherzer to the Angels. I could see Kershaw to the Angels. No. I could see Correa in Philly too. That's where I predicted him in my prediction. So, if Hicks establishes he's healthy, Jeffrey, then we can get a decent amount back from him because he's only costing $10 million a year. So, we can not a ridiculous package back, but decent value. You think he's going to get 5 years, $150 million? Well, I mean, maybe if his market's big enough, somebody might overpay. Toronto, Texas, Detroit. It could. I just hope it's not the Yankees. I wouldn't go that far if I were the Yankees. Bag of donuts. Yeah, Billy. His trade value is not very high right now. You might be able to package him and Frazier and Andujar, unfortunately, for 2 Happy Meals at this point. Unfortunately. If Cohen wants Starling Marte, Yankees can outbid anybody, Gerald. Anybody. Cohen could win. He could be aggressive. I mean, could be. They can. That doesn't mean they will outbid them. So, I mean, if Cohen blows them away, I could see him getting them. Jeter, yeah. Getting Javi. I mean, Evan, he's a viable option, Javi Baez. I mean, he's the last on my – well, he's second to last on my shortstop list. The only guy after him is Andrelton Simmons. But he can – he doesn't come with a qualifying offer because he was acquired midseason. So he's one of the few guys. And he won't cost 35 million a year. So trade Stanton to the Dodgers. Undead Dragon, thank you so much for the super chat. Dono hype and Dono love for you. Braves fan here, love your channel. Hope we get a rematch of the 96. Well, first of all, congratulations to your team for winning the World Series this year. They had a hell of a year. Best team in baseball, no doubt about it. Yeah, you have a great team, the Braves. You really do. I like a lot of those players. But I really hope that we have a rematch too. That would be really, really cool. It would be. And they're a hell of a team to watch. I really enjoy watching them. But same here. But thank you again, man, for the dono and the support and the super chat, man. I appreciate you. I really do. And keep coming back. I'm going to make a lot of good content. That's the thing. Like, fans from other teams are always welcome here. I do stuff on other teams too, but the majority stuff is Yankees, yes. But if I have some good stuff coming out, I'm going to put it out for other teams too. So, and the Braves are world champs, so they do deserve some love. So, congrats again on that, and thank you. Would I give up for Pablo Lopez and Trevor Richards? Torres, Voit, Davey. I would give up a decent amount. I would. I mean, who would you give up, Anthony? How many outfielders the Mets have? I don't know. Oh, just one. Wow, I didn't know that. They did re-sign Joely Rodriguez. Giambi. Aaron. This is a Giambi jersey, actually. The Giambi on the back, 25. I enjoyed him when he was here. I really did. No bias, crying about. Yeah, I know. Okay, I know. He's definitely not my first pick. Got talent, but I don't know if his personality would be a fit here. Be a better fit in Queens, where it's not as rough as it is in the Bronx. The other teams didn't want to come in to buy the team because they were afraid he would inflate the salaries. Yeah, he could. That's what the players' union wants too. They want salaries to keep going up and going up. Setting the market like that. That Lindor contract was absurd, but yeah, yeah. And poor Boris calling Michael Conforto the King Queen. Let him and let the Mets overpay for him. Yankees don't overpay for him. No, Yankees don't need him, so. And yeah, I guess he'll probably wind up going back to the Mets on the qualifying offer, but who knows? Billy Walsh, Correa would fade into obscurity like Cabrera did. Miguel Cabrera? That dude's the first ballot Hall of Famer. No doubt about it. If Freeman doesn't come back to Atlanta, please stay away from Olson. He's the only guy worth replacing Freeman. It's a good point. Good point. Olson's my first choice for the Yankees, so there's no doubt about it. But would the Braves trade for Olson if Freeman moves on somewhere else? Well, they have the prospects to do it, that's for sure. That's why the Yankees need to be aggressive and strike fast to prevent situations like this from happening. Yeah, that stunt he pulled with Francisco Lindor makes me really glad that the Yankees did not get Lindor. So, and that was just a joke. It was very childish. So, flyer, I would take a flyer on Kershaw if they're not able to trade for some of the guys that they want. So, Pablo Lopez, Luis Castillo, stuff like that. But I wouldn't give him $30 million a year. He's still going to get a couple-year deal. just don't know if he'll handle New York or not. I'm not sure. He's still a top of the line pitcher though. But I just think he's better suited for the National League. I'm concerned when pitchers come from the NL to the AL. They usually get lit up, so that's my problem. But I'm not exactly sure why the Yankees soured on Sorry Ron 9. I mean, I don't buy the whole thing. It could be speculation too, trying to lower the price. But I don't buy a lot of that stuff. So there's no reason for them to sour. I don't know why. He's one of the most athletic shortstops out there. So, and he's not going to cost as much as these other guys. So, I mean, and he's versatile. He can move to second if they bring up Voit, if they bring up Peraza. So, to me, he offers a lot to the Yankees. So I'm not exactly sure, to be honest with you. I still don't get it. Like, nobody really explained. We don't want Rizzo. Yeah, I think Rizzo's going to go back and I think he's going to go to Boston, in my opinion. Correa, Suzuki. The Japanese outfielder. Matt Olson, Frankie Montez, Luis Castillo. That right there, that'd be a pretty historic offseason, Jason Robbins, but I like it. I like the Suzuki fit in with Correa. And Suzuki, Correa, and Olson, like, oh my God, you could probably lead off Suzuki too at center field. And then have those ridiculous lineup behind them. My God. Teixeira. Giambi, baby. That's the jersey. Although I have a Teixeira shirt too. So I do have both. I like both of them. And I like Teixeira too. I mean, I like Tino Martinez. They had 3 great first basemen there. My favorite of all time is Donnie Baseball, though. Donnie Baseball is my favorite. Yeah, I don't think Conforto's a fit here. Yeah, Volpe to me is untouchable, in my opinion, and so. Deepak, Ray Searage to help with the pitching staff. I don't know who that is, but I'm going to look into him. Kameen, I don't know, Correa. I mean, I don't know. And so, I mean, he's fearless, man. He is absolutely fearless and not fazed by anything. I think he's a great fit for the Yankees. He's ballsy. And he hits in the clutch. So he's a type player the Yankees need. That's for sure. But I don't know. And yes, thank God we didn't get Bauer. Oh, God. Then we dodged 3 bullets there. And he just opted into the Dodgers. Even if they release him, they have to pay him $30+ million this year. So, what a dick. Yeah, but we did dodge a bullet there. I think the Marlins have a chance at probably Story more than Correa. I don't think they're going to spend that much, Anthony. But I would think they would, I could see them getting Story, and I could see them trading one of their pitchers for more offensive firepower. They have a lot of pitching depth, and they can use them in trades to get some offense. Correa, I'm not sure. I think, Detroit, Philly, and the Yankees are probably the 3 most likely spots for Correa. But I do see the Marlins being aggressive this offseason. Yeah, no names on the back. Well, for the actual Yankees, yeah. But, a fun jersey, yeah. Joakim Soria is retiring. Yeah, good. Had a decent career. Brian Anderson to the Yankees. I don't know. Olson may be cheaper if they include it. Elvis Andrus. Well, for a salary dump, maybe. He still got some money in this deal. Yeah, it could be. He's not a disaster. He's better than Torres at shortstop. But as long as Elvis Andrus doesn't stop the Yankees from bringing in an elite shortstop. Yankees should get Olson and Murphy for Jason Dominguez, Luis Hill, Schmidt, Sanchez, and Gio. Dominguez would be a tough pill to swallow, but I would consider that one, Joseph. I do. I would. Syndergaard for the corner. No, he was offered a qualifying offer, so I'm not sure. I think if they're going to sign anybody on a qualifying offer, it'll be a Correa. My guess. I could be wrong, but I think there's other guys they can get before Noah Syndergaard. Yeah, Jack. No, I get it, man. I can see that too. I can see that too. That's my fear. Any word? No word yet. That'd be a trade that I could just see happening without Angel coming out of nowhere, trading Chapman and attaching a prospect to somebody. I could see it happening, but that would be breaking news. The Yankees moved on from Chapman. I'm like, what the? I'm like, when we least expect it. Ketel Marte and Jose Ramirez trade and sign story. I mean, would cost a haul, but if they got Marte and Ramirez, I'd be down for that. Both switch hitters, I think. Why would they should be different when Machado and Harper were available? Yeah, there was too much. There was too much gossip about the Yankees getting both of those guys. But the Yankees, got into the tax this year so that they can be aggressive. But yeah, I would have been fine with Machado and Harper here. I would have. But yeah, I mean, you never really know what the hell they're gonna do. That's the crazy thing. Carlos Correa, in my opinion, can handle New York seamlessly, especially if he plays well. Forget it. Hey, Alex. Jokers. Yeah, I mean, I would keep him at second, but the only way I trade Torres is if it's a blockbuster with Oakland or a blockbuster with Cincinnati for Luis Castillo. Tony Pena would be nice. Eric Chavez would be nice too, and some of these like Luis Rojas would be some good fits here for the Yankees too. So they need to get some coaches that can not only help with the infield players but relate to the Latin American players too, and they need to get a combination. So Chapman to the Marlins for Rich Blair. Yankees would have to eat some salary there. But why not? Why not? But I agree. I think Torres' ceiling has been hit. I don't think he's going to get that ceiling again, Billy Walsh. I do. But hey, guys, I'm going to wrap this up. We're running on 90 minutes, but I can't thank you all enough for the donos and hanging with me tonight. We're going to do another one Saturday night as long as you guys are around. Similarities and differences between Lindor and Correa handling the right lights. I think Correa is a little bit more mature. Crazy enough, but he's more clutch in the playoffs too, and he's got playoff experience. I'd be happier if they got Correa instead of Lindor. I would, but not a lot of similarities too. But they're both superstars. There's no doubt about it. Sandy Alcantara would be great. Mark Feinstein reporting bias to the Mets close. No surprise. No surprise. Yeah, at the end of the day, I see Seager signing with the Texas Rangers. But if Correa leaves Houston, probably Trevor Story in sell. My guess they'll sign Trevor Story. If he comes to the Yankees, yeah, I think so. Yeah, well, Correa, the only reason I would give Correa an A-Rod type deal is because he's 27. When the Yankees re-signed A-Rod, he was 32. So, and I could see Seager going to the Angels too. I could. It's going to be a really interesting offseason, but I'm going to keep you all fed in the loop. But thank you all for coming on. Have a great night. And if you're around Saturday, let's do another one of these. I'm sure we're going to have a lot to talk about. I'm sure there'll be more news to be broken by then. I expect some stuff to happen next couple of days. But thank you as always. You're the best. Enjoy your night. Take care.